Hello everyone and welcome back to my solo of the Baldur's Gate Trilogy. In this episode we'll be doing a random encounter, or I guess it's a scripted encounter, right away right here, and then we're going to be doing the Planar Sphere. My apologies for the long episode. I honestly think I'll probably cut out commentary about halfway through and let the gameplay speak for itself, but I don't know yet. I didn't realize that the gameplay was this long when I was recording it. Ordinarily I just go by feeling and I just cut recording when I get to a stopping point, and this one apparently was too long.
On this path previously. Are you sure you know where you left it? I have no desire to keep traveling about in circles.
So if you're a fan of the R.A. Salvatore series, you'll recognize all these characters: Dritz, Catti-brie, Bruenor, Battlehammer, Gwennevar, and Wolfgar. I decided to be an asshole to them and kill them because I wanted the stuff, just to see what kind of stuff they would drop.
Not a concern.
And right here you see me cheating. Well, it's not cheating, but time stop is just stupidly powerful. Did you see that? Regis is a thief that uses a mace, and according to the game rules, he can't backstab with a mace. So, because of his loadout, he's not optimal. It doesn't make any difference. I would have killed him anyway, but I just thought it was kind of funny. I had never noticed that before.
I carry too much as it is. Your item's on the ground.
So ordinarily, that is a very difficult fight right there. I would not expect to have that much success if you're going with a party of 6, because they're going to be higher levels than you. They have comparable gear to you and your party, and they cheat because they get better, just better to hit rolls and everything, just because they're custom characters. So I'm kind of an evil son of a bitch for doing that, but you'll forgive me. There's no such thing as roleplay in this playthrough. It's just straight metagame, just destroying the game as easily as possible. I would imagine if you're watching these videos, you're not interested in roleplay. You're interested in seeing a skillful player go through the game in a semi-optimal fashion. So I'm not going to worry about role-playing too much. Maybe in the future, as an update to what I was talking about in the last episode with the monk, I started a Dark Moon monk playthrough on Baldur's Gate 1, and I've been having a lot of trouble with it. My guy's about level 5. I finished up the Nashkel Mines, and I'm about to go do Bandit Camp, but it's just kind of tough because you don't get that many attacks per round. I only have 2 attacks per round, and I don't think I'll get any more. And you have to rely on your base Thako because you're using just your melee attacks. And the downside to Baldur's Gate 1 is that the XP cap is so low that I can't really get as powerful as I can in Baldur's Gate 2. Which I guess is obvious, but what I'm saying is that I can't get as powerful relative to the enemies.
Your item's on the ground. Your item's on the ground. I carry too much as it is. Your item's on the ground. I carry too much as it is. Your item's on the ground.
That bug in the game where if you have a stackable item, but no more other inventory slots, you can't pick up an item to stack into that slot. I don't know if that's a in-game bug or if it's just... Yeah, I'm sure it's not intended. But just having a little bit of inventory management issues. So I think this is kind of bullshit that anyone else using Aegis Fang doesn't get all the bonuses. I think that's kind of silly. Also, I had the impression that Twinkle was a +5 scimitar, not a +3. But regardless, it is a great scimitar if you are a scimitar user. Particularly if you're going Kensai or, I don't know, maybe a stalker or some sort of other ranger that specializes in two weapon style. I think the best scimitar using character in the game is actually the Fighter Thief, just because you can dual wield. I think the best one in the game is, what is it called, from Watcher's Keep, Spectral Brand. You can dual wield that with the monk only scimitar from the guy in the copper corn, the guy in the copper coronet from Icewind Dale. The +3 scimitar that gives you an extra attack per round and it has a poison effect. So that's kind of cocky of me, but I'm selling all my haste potions, selling a shitload of health potions, just because I don't want to carry them around and I don't feel like I have any use for them. Honestly, I'm not taking that much damage per encounter, and you get the superior healing potions in Throne of Ball. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to be taking much damage for the remainder of Baldur's Gate 2. The only fights that have the potential to be difficult are some of them in Hell, perhaps. I still don't know how I'm really going to handle Hell. Ordinarily, I play a lot of characters through about the midway part of Baldur's Gate 2 and then I quit, just because I get interested in trying another character class. So I'm not as familiar with the very, very end of Baldur's Gate 2 as I am with the areas that we've been playing. So Pierce Shield is freaking awesome. I had never used that spell before, but it's basically breach for magical defenses. So what that means is that all you need in order to just destroy anything in the entire game is just Pierce Shield, breach, and lower resistance. And you can drop all defenses. I guess there's some extremely high level physical defense things that won't be affected by breach, but you can dispel those with spell strike, secret word, or maybe not secret word. I forget what secret word does. I think it just dispels the highest level up to 8th level immunity spell that they cast. But in any case, this character, I don't think I'm going to need to be too fancy with my spell removal kind of stuff. I can just run up attack them with my Dispel Magic staff and call it a day. I was just looking at this guy's inventory to see if he had anything new. So that Helm of Brilliance is actually pretty good as a utilitarian item. The Fireball's not good just because it's only 6d6, but it's better than nothing. Sunray is decent, and then it has that that prismatic spray. It allows you to have a little bit of utility on what would ordinarily be just a regular old, beat 'em up tank. So you see right here, I got extremely rich, and then I go and spend everything on spells.
Greetings, good customer. A pearl to you.
Pipkin42 on Reddit today asked me if on my Fighter Thief playthrough, when I was that gnome Fighter Thief, if you've been keeping up with the channel, if I was going into Baldur's Gate 2, would I keep that dagger proficiency? And I told him, and I'll tell all of you, the answer is no. I don't think daggers are optimal when it comes to going in, like transferring a character into Baldur's Gate 2. I think the better choice is to go straight longswords, because by the end of by the time you hit your XP cap, you want specialization in longswords, scimitars, flails, and I think I like hammers for my other one. I don't remember honestly how many proficiencies you want or you get, but those are my ideal, and obviously your 2-weapon style. But daggers are by no means a terrible choice. It's just not as optimal of a choice as longswords. One of the only things to consider when you're choosing between daggers or longswords for a character to transfer into Baldur's Gate 2 is the speed factor of the weapon. If you're a thief, you might want a lower speed factor weapon, so you might even consider short swords, just because it gives you a little bit more time on your backstab if your character attacks immediately.
It's probably best left to me.
It makes everything feel just a tiny bit more responsive. I honestly don't know why I'm picking up all these invisibility potions, because I have free invisibility on this staff.
Not a concern.
But if I think about it, once I'm playing again and not recording, or not commentating, I'll probably just get rid of it. Get rid of the potions, I mean, definitely not the staff. The staff is just too good. I guess one other good thing about dagger proficiency is that you get to have thrown weapons, just like what my character is doing in this playthrough.
I'm willing.
And because you get to add your strength bonus on all your attacks, then it means that fighters using daggers, or a fighter thief specifically, is going to have much better success than using a short bow. And we've talked about that and seen the effects of it in this playthrough. the thrown ranged weapons have been significantly more damaging. So right there I was considering memorizing some lock spells, but I just didn't care. As you can see, we already have 5,600,000 XP. We're getting really high level, like stupidly high level. We're almost at the XP cap. This is the fastest I've ever come close to the XP cap. I thought we'd be hitting it in Watcher's Keep, but it looks like we're going to be done with leveling up before we even hit the end of the game. End of Baldur's Gate 2, Shadows of Amn. And I think we have all those spells that I've been memorizing to thank for that. I don't know how much XP I've gotten from all those scrolls that I've memorized, but I've had to, memorize 100 or more. And let's say the average level of all those spells is level 3. That's 300,000 XP just straight from that. And I would wager that we've memorized more than 100, and the average level has been higher than level 3. So I think it wouldn't be out of the question to assume that we've done 500, 600,000, maybe even 1,000,000 XP straight from memorizing scrolls. So keep that in mind when you're playing, whether you're a solo character or not. You get a lot of XP from memorizing those scrolls. So I picked that up out of habit, and then I thought to myself, why am I picking this up? I'm never going to need it. I'm never going to need the gold from it. And that's one nice thing about being a solo character. Because you can get geared up and all that so quickly, you don't really need to worry about money or efficiency. You can just kind of start bum rushing once you get to the extremely high power level, like what I have now.
I'm waiting.
So those gauntlets are quite useful for a lot of characters, specifically if you have people like Jaheira or Valagar in your party that don't have 18 strength. Even for characters like Minsk or Keldorn, where they have high strength but they don't have, 18 over 100 strength, that will significantly improve their damage by at least a few damage points. And if a character has only 17, 15, or whatever the case may be, those strength gauntlets will be bar none the best melee improvement for your character, unless of course you're using other strength enhancing gear.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, if you're just bringing in a character straight from the start of Baldur's Gate 2, not bringing one in from Baldur's Gate 1, so you don't have all those extra stats from the tomes. The difference between a regular old 18 strength versus 18 over 100 is significant. I think it's like plus 3 damage per, plus 5 to hit at least. Just insane differences in damage. So another person on Reddit answered my question about Mordenkainen's sword. I couldn't figure out how many attacks per round they were getting. He said they're only getting 1 attack per round. I thought they got 2, or maybe even were based off of your character. But the answer is they only get 1 attack per round. So in terms of Mordenkainen's sword's haste is just as good as improved haste.
Hold still.
Now, I honestly don't remember how many attacks per round the skeleton warriors get, but I believe they're level 9 fighters or something like that, so I think they get at least 2 attacks per round, so improved haste on them is better than regular haste. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds right to me. I didn't realize how much free XP you get from this area, but holy cow, you get an ass ton. An ass ton? What does that mean? So make sure you get the kill on that thing. The Guardian Golem will kill it by himself if you don't stay in the room, but you miss out on that 14,000 experience. I know I keep harping on XP and how important it is, but it really is important, especially if you're playing with a party of 6 or anything more than 2 guys. You're going to want as much XP as possible, because if you're doing this even after the Underdark like me, I wouldn't expect any of your characters to be higher level than maybe level 15, and that is not that high. Hell, my fighter that's a level 13, even if I didn't cast a single spell, I would still be able to duke it out with someone who's level 15. Even, I'd imagine I would win a 1v1 fight with my current setup, not casting any spells and just using Berserk. I would probably win a fight against any NPC that is level 15. Which I guess is not saying much, but I've just been thinking about I guess how to play this game optimally. I used to think that this game was equally balanced for smaller parties versus larger parties, but I don't think that's true. I think small parties, and in particular solo characters, will always be more powerful at the same point in the game than a 6-man party. And I think the only exceptions to that rule are in the very, very early game, and perhaps in the very, very late game, once the solo character has been sitting at the XP cap for quite some time and the party has had a chance to catch up a bit.
I'm waiting. Let's do this quick and last
I've been trying to think of a circumstance in which Tensor's transformation would
out of concern.
help my character, but I've been kind of at a loss. I don't know any situation in which I would rather do more melee damage than just cast spells and augment myself.
I hope this is worth it.
So be careful of this fight if you're playing in a group or this is one of your first playthroughs. This fight in here can be quite difficult against Toldgerius, the Cowled Wizard, and his friend. But I'm such a high level and my Mordenkainen swords are so good that it just trivializes the whole situation.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, you would be amazed at how difficult that could be. And if you've played this game before with, the standard way, the way you should be playing, with a group, you know how difficult that encounter
Give
can
me
be.
some direction.
It's amazing to me that those swords only get one attack per round, and they're that powerful, even though they're only getting 2 attacks from haste. It just boggles my mind. They seem like they do so much more than just a single attack per round.
Yeah.
That axe is pretty good. I didn't know it existed, but it almost negates the whole idea of being a Wizard Slayer, which is a little annoying because Wizard Slayers are terrible as it is.
Give me some direction. I'm waiting. I'm there. Yeah. Let's do the... Hold still.
I'm sure a lot of you have noticed this, but if you haven't, they've actually nerfed Iron Skins. The Druid spell, it's the same as Stone Skin, but it's like a level 5. I don't know why, but their nerf was, instead of casting time of 1, like Stone Skin is for mages, they put it to a casting time of 9. So you can't really cast it in battle without standing a good chance of being interrupted. I don't know why they would choose to do that. Yes, the spell is quite powerful, but Jesus, like, I feel like there are better ways to nerf a spell, especially one that, more or less was fine in the original game. It's no more or less OP than Stone Skin is. Hell, look at my character. I'm just using Stone Skin. It just makes certain characters more powerful and certain characters less. It doesn't change balance. It just well, I guess it does change balance in in the essence of the word, but I guess I'm just salty. I don't know why they would do that, because I like my Ranger Cleric, and I wanted my Ranger Cleric to be as good as the old days, where you could instant cast Iron Skins.
I'm waiting.
But that is not the case.
Yeah. Time is up. Yeah. Give me some direction.
So there you see, we got our question answered. What happens when we run out of high level abilities as a mage? We just don't get any more. We don't get duplicates, we just don't get any more. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess I'm okay with it because I'm already stupidly powerful, but I don't know. I kind of wish I would get more high level abilities.
I'm willing.
As a fighter, you can stack them infinitely. Hell, you can get 15 or 20 whirlwind attacks, improved whirlwind attacks. Well, 15 probably.
I hope this is worth it.
But anyway, I mean, you see my tactics. I'm summoning, summoning helpers for all of my fights. I'm just hasting them, and then I'm just going crazy. Occasionally doing berserk if I'm worried about getting
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'll see to it.
getting crowd controlled. Right here, I'm using my animate deads because they last for 8 hours rather than the short time that the Mord swords last for. Simply because I'm planning on clearing out this area rather than just killing this 1 ton RE and then getting out of here.
Give me some direction. I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm there. Hold still. Let's do this quick and painful.
But I really don't have too much to say for the remainder of this episode. And the next one, I think, we'll be doing the Planar Sphere quest, the small ones. I don't know how much commentary I'll have about that. It's something I've never done, so it might be a little bit boring or sloppy. But I'm going to record it nonetheless because I haven't cut out anything in this playthrough, with the exception of when I was getting my butt kicked by the vampires, and I cut out a few of my trial and error things. And I kind of want to keep it that way. I want to put as much of this playthrough on YouTube as possible. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to let the video play out. We've still got about 10 minutes or so. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next one.
Give me some. I'll see to it. I'm waiting. Yeah. I'm willing. Give me some direction. I'm waiting. Hold still. Hope this is worth it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll see to it. I'm there. If it must be done. what's left of me. Hey, not a concern. I hope this is worth it.
We'll return. I am most grateful. If you could... it is the sky after all. I had forgotten how it looked after so long. I thank you, and I wish to repay you for your
I'll see to it.
kindness.
I'm willing.
You are welcome in my sight.
I had thought you would be told. I am here as a contact and a master, and I will thank you for keeping your tone civil. I am Tios, and I have been assigned to offer you a special deal.
I hope this is worth it. Yeah, I'll see to it. It's done.
Ribald Bardaman at your service.
must be done. It's probably best left to me.
I got some cheap beer for you.
Hey, not a concern. Give me some direction. I hope this is...
Kneel and repent.